future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday, August the 12th. I'm Del Shores, and you are listening to the Del and Emerson show, Straight Talk, Real Gay. Oh. I knew I was not going to get through that. Emerson always does that part. I just have to say my name. But hey, here we are, and Emerson is off somewhere on some secret mission in New York City. I wore this T-shirt for you, Emerson. And I am so honored and privileged to have two of my very close friends with me today. Chris Pudlo and Craig Taggart are here co-hosting with me. You know them from the Sordid Lives, the series. Chris played the crazy Conroy who was always going after Brother Boy. And Craig played Craig Stephen Snow, who was Ty's director. And y'all do such a great show here in LA. I wish, if you're ever in LA, it's at the fourth Tuesday
of
every month, called Rise and Shine with Bet and Juliet. And y'all have some really cool news. Right?
Well, we do, yes.
Let's talk about that first, because I can't. I was that kid that I had to, every Christmas I unwrapped all my Christmas gifts and wrapped them back up. So I can't wait. This is such cool news. What happened this week about Bet and Juliet show?
Okay, well, this week Chris Pudlo, who plays Juliet, personally received a private message from Juliette Lewis herself on Instagram asking me for details about the show, and she reposted it on her Instagram and said, you've made it when you're done in drag by @JackTorrance, and hashtagged my Instagram name and reposted it.
And she said she's coming to your show.
And she said, I'll see you there, and then did the fun emoji cons with like the lipstick and the lip marks and the two drag queens dancing that I like to call drag queens.
So are you nervous? I mean, if she's in the audience, how is it going to affect you guys?
If I see her when I peek through the curtains, as I usually do, then I'll lose my mind, but...
Because you're a big fan.
Yep.
I mean,
no, not really.
They're gonna go into character a little bit later, but this is very exciting for you guys.
Yep.
So every week we start with the equality update, and Emerson College leads us through this, but we're going to alternate today. And there's still people kicking and screaming and gnashing their teeth because two people want to love each other and get married. And in Arkansas, we have officials emboldened to refuse same-sex marriages. Arkansas Religious Freedom Restoration Act, signed into law in April, leads the state's Republican Attorney General to believe anti-gay justices of the peace can refuse to officiate same-sex marriages. Like other elected officials in Arkansas, justices of peace are allowed to officiate marriage ceremonies, but they don't have to. So in her opinion, attorney Leslie Rutledge indicated that JPs who don't want to perform same-sex marriages can stop performing marriages altogether to avoid accusations of discrimination. And then she further said that if any JP is also a religious official, like a minister, that they could just flat out refuse gay couples and continue to perform straight couple marriage. She's opening herself for a lawsuit there, I believe. I strongly believe, because that... This is interesting to me because, as you all know, I'm writing the new movie, A Very Sordid Wedding, and it takes place right after the Supreme Court verdict. And I recently called Runnels County because I wanted, the theme is them trying to keep gay marriage outside of this one county. And I did my diligent research, and that's exactly what the JP is doing in Runnels County. She is refusing to marry anybody. So it just continues, but we have some good news from Ohio in Equality Update.
We do. In Ohio, judges cannot refuse to wed same-sex couples. A judge who cited his personal and Christian beliefs in refusing to marry gay couples is told by Ohio's Supreme Court Board of Professional Conduct he doesn't get a choice. Toledo Municipal Court Judge C. Allen McConnell, a senior elder at the First Church of God, sought the board's opinion last month after making headlines for refusing to marry a lesbian couple. A judge who exercises the authority to perform civil marriages may not refuse to perform same-sex marriages while continuing to perform opposite-sex marriages. So according to the 7-page opinion by the Supreme Court of Ohio Board of Professional Conduct, The panel issued its ruling Monday.
So that was good news, very good news.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. This is when Arkansas does what they're doing. We're going to continue. Somehow, the justice system will prevail. I mean, these people are going to kick and scream. I don't know when they're going to stop, though. I mean, it seems like they just keep going.
But in retrospect, I think it's good that it's happening this way because we're getting more attention drawn to it, and eventually people are going to just look like crazy assholes, and then they will be those last standing few people. Like, you're the only ones not in society still doing this crap all over the country.
Yeah, and we're going to get to some of our crazy assholes later on in the show, which we love checking in with crazy. So what's happening? Now, I know, Craig Taggart, you love to go down under. So tell us what's happening in Australia.
Well,
some good news, some kind of partial good news.
Yeah. It looks like in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court decision legalizing nationwide marriage equality, representatives from the Human Rights Council visited Australia to give advice on efforts down under. It seems like after meetings with several advocates, director of the HRC Global, Ty Cobb, said Australia is well poised to be the next country to adopt the reform. He says if you look around the world and where the next opportunity for the world to really move forward on marriage equality, Australia is that place. I think the entire international community is really focused on Australia and the ability of the current government to listen to where Australians are on this issue. Several polls have shown a clear majority of Australians in support of the reform, with some indicating a figure around 70% approval. Despite this, numbers in the parliament are very close, and government frontbenchers, now myself, I'm partial to a rear bencher, well, a front bencher is.
I knew when Emerson wrote that somebody was going to go, just take that low road, that low road.
Low, very low. But they're bound to vote against the reform, meaning that any bill that came forward would fail. Prime Minister Tony Abbott is reluctant to allow government MPs a free vote on marriage equality. A cross-party bill on marriage equality is expected to be introduced to the Australian Parliament next week.
Well, Tony Abbott's been an asshole about this for a long time, but it's interesting to me that their polls just keep going up and up and up, and it's happening here in the United States.
Which polls are we talking about?
Craig, get your mind. We
I'm
stay
still down on
We
the
do. We stay in the gutter. Our minds stay in the gutter. But here's what's interesting to me about this whole thing is, as we've seen. I mean, when we saw Prop 8 pass back, in when
2008.
2008, there were 41% nationwide that believed that gay marriage should be legal. It is now up to, in the United States, it's approaching the mid-60s.
Yeah.
It's even come up further since the Supreme Court verdict, and it will continue because of the exposure. And quite frankly, I say it's because we're putting a face on it. We know people. There are out celebrities. There are out, it's like Tim and Dan next door. They take care of my dog while I'm gone. I
Yeah.
can't vote against their rights.
Right.
But so what's going to happen to these politicians? All of these politicians who are continuing to spew the hatred and to run on this platform. I think they're going to be defeated.
They will.
I mean,
their term
it's
limits
not
are
the
out.
only issue. Let's not be grand and
Right.
because sometimes we do. In the gay community, we go, well, it's just, it's all gay. If they're like, there are other issues. But, I mean, did y'all watch the Republican
Sure
debate?
did.
He did. I didn't.
You
I
did
did.
not.
No, I'm scared of that.
Yeah. What'd you think, Craig?
Well, honestly, the thing that I was most surprised about that I did not expect going into it was the moderators. I thought it was going to be very soft.
I did
I thought it was going to be
too.
very, coddling of each candidate. And Megyn Kelly came out swinging on Trump.
Yeah, she sure did.
And
he's been swinging back.
He's been swinging back since, but that I was surprised by because I thought they were just kind of lead him going, with kid gloves with everything. So, and Trump was typical Trump, and then there were certain candidates that like totally went the politician route that took their whole minute and a half to I would like to thank everyone for allowing us to be here, and just then do their talking points. But I was waiting for a good old cat fight between Rand Paul and
Rand
Donald
Paul,
Trump.
that hair. I don't know
know.
that hair.
Yes.
I know.
See that this is why they don't have any gay friends.
Just shave it.
Nobody's
like me.
talking. I mean, look at Donald Trump's hair. It's just ridiculous. I am finding Donald Trump very, very entertaining in this race, though. Come on. I
I
mean,
literally
Oh,
thought
yeah.
you were going to say, I am finding Donald Trump very attractive because I was like, attractive? I thought you were gonna say that.
You've seen my time. Now, Chris.
Well, I don't know if he likes Groupons or not.
Inside joke. If you haven't seen my show, there's a Groupon story. So anyway, all right. Well, moving on. Let's flash through the gay news. That's our equality update, and we got some good gay news here. I mean, have y'all seen the musicals, the live musicals on NBC? Have you seen any of them?
I watched part of whatever it was the Sound of Music one with what's her name?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now come on.
No, I just said yeah.
What about you, Craig?
I didn't see Peter Pan.
Well, I didn't watch all of Peter Pan because I just want Peter Pan to be a boy.
I'm the same way.
I want, I said, why not cast someone Blake MacGyver could play Peter Pan? Come
Yeah.
on, he's got
Yeah.
that boyish quality. And why do we have the girl? I know there's some sort of history, and I think Emerson probably knows that history, but we do have to, no matter what, and Emerson made such a great point about Carrie. I mean, you can say whatever you want. That it brought live theater to a lot of people and exposed theater to a lot of people who normally would not have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And, we
that,
saw Audra's amazing vocals in the same performance. And Carrie certainly sang. She's not the greatest actress in the world, but in that, so many people watch that. And Peter Pan, and it is such a success. Now we have The Wiz is coming to NBC, and they announced a lot of the cast this week. Dorothy is a newcomer, 18-year-old Shanice Williams, and I love that they're using Stephanie Mills, who was the original Dorothy, as Aunt Em, and Mary J. Blige.
Love her.
Yes, now I don't know. I'm not gay enough to know the character. Is it Eveline or
I would guess Eveline.
Eveline?
But
But it says evil in it. But
I-
Eveline. Okay, we'll have to ask Emerson.
It looks
He'll
like
know.
it could be Evil Lynn from He-Man.
Queen Latifah, The Wiz. David Allen Greer is the Cowardly Lion. Uzo Buba is Glinda. Did I say her name right?
Duba.
Uzo Aduba. Crazy Eyes.
I
from
love
Orange is the New
her.
Black.
Yeah, from Orange is the New Black. And Amber Riley is, how do you say this cast name? Adderpearl?
I just like Anna Pearl.
Adderpearl.
It's a new drug, Adderall.
But anyway, so The Wiz coming. I couldn't find an air date, but again, Craig Zaden, Neil Marin bringing us more live theater. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, are y'all as obsessed with American Horror Story as I am?
I'm terribly excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the season 1 billboards were up, at first I was like, oh, what is this crap? And then I watched the pilot and I loved it. And I'm like, I'm obsessed because I love horror and it's a TV show and it's a great story. And then I was hooked and I've watched every season and I love them all.
What's your favorite season?
I like the last one. I think the first one was the best.
You like the circus,
I
the freak
did.
show?
I
That
did.
was
I
my
think-
least favorite, I think.
I think the second one is the best. The best acting, the best storytelling.
Asylum?
Asylum, yeah.
You know what? Y'all have been to my house.
Yeah.
I
Asylum.
could not watch Asylum at night. I literally started putting my alarm on every night. That season fucked me up.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think I have a fear of being, put in a crazy house. and I'm always writing, Brother Boy's been there. Y'all played, you played a crazy person
I
for
did.
me.
Yeah, we haven't told you that. That's not your house. That's the actual asylum.
Oh, so I'm really just out today.
We let him out on a field trip to the radio station.
It's so funny. Oh no. I just got a call. I'm live streaming this on my Facebook, and Caroline Ray just called me while I'm on the air, and I just pushed decline because I'll have to call her back.
I said something
There are
bad.
other important things to do. So, so the new season. Now, I started watching it rather late. I started watching third season because of Mr. Leslie Jordan.
Yeah.
And
I was the same way. I hadn't seen 1 or 2 and started with 3. And then I tanked up on Christmas on Netflix on season 1 and 2.
So, and then I went to season 1, which was scary to me, but but Jessica Lange was never better than in season 1.
Brilliant.
I think.
I agree.
Brilliant.
And then,
Wholehearted.
I mean, there's so many great performances, and it's just a little over the top gay. I mean, you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
admit.
Oh yeah, especially season 3. I think just like with the
witches.
bitchiness of
Stevie
the,
Nicks, everything. Yeah,
Yes,
it was great.
it was like so we could have the whole show on American Horror Story, but let's that's just a little bit of the cast. We've got Lady Gaga, who is it's Hotel. It's called Hotel, so you know it could just, and it's set here in downtown.
I love it. And I was saying, I'm so excited this because I love hotels. It makes me sound like a slut, but anyway.
And it's
Motel makes you sound like a
I do
slut.
too. And it's more like season one, more noir-y, and the horror will be dripping out of the hotel. It was inspired by a surveillance video of a girl who went missing after she entered an elevator in a downtown hotel, I guess here in Los Angeles. So we've got Lady Gaga, the owner, playing a very wealthy social, what's that word?
It's a doyen.
Doyen.
Who is consumed with art and fashion and people. She also has a nefarious plan that unravels over the course of the season. Sarah Paulson, who is my favorite. I love her so much. She's playing a bad guy this time. She's playing hypodermic Sally, a drug addict who lives in the Kathy Bates runs, which I find that ironic.
So it's the Bates Motel?
It's basically the Bates Motel. We've got Dennis O'Hare back, who I love. He plays a character named Elizabeth Taylor, who works at the hotel bar. My dream man, Matt Bomber, has a relationship with Gaga. Wes Bentley, who I love, is a detective. Finn. How do you say his wife?
Whitrock. I don't know who that is.
Oh my God!
Oh, you do.
Yes, you did. He just got the Emmy nomination. He was the he was
in season
the
3.
murderer, the rich.
Oh yeah.
murderer.
The
what was
sax
his
player
name?
dude.
He
No.
in Freak Show, he was the one who.
Oh
He's
yes,
the rich-
yes,
the
I
rich
love
boy
him.
What
Yeah,
was his name?
with Danny.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, I totally know who
So
he is.
he's
Yes, yes,
great, and Chloe Sevigny is in it. Cheyenne Jackson, Angela Bassett, Lily Rabe is back. She's playing a serial killer. Evan Peters is back, and Naomi Campbell will start. Also, Michelle Pfeiffer, Donald Sutherland, Steven Weber. It is just a plethora
I love it.
of great
wait.
actors. So I'm really excited, and that I think we do have. It comes on October the 7th. So let's call Emerson Collins. Let's get Emerson Collins on the line. He is in New York City. Let's see what the fuck
Where
is
the
he?
hell is he?
What is he up
City.
to? Won't
Yeah.
even tell me. I'm his producing partner. What is? It's ringing. It's ringing.
The-
Emerson, why are you not? I guess we should talk through this dead time. We should
Yeah.
not have this dead
just
time.
phone ringing. It sounds like we all croaked, and there's just a phone ringing.
That is so odd that we are. It's okay. Is that
He doesn't have one of those like.
no? He
ringback
has a
phones.
he has a voicemail. Emerson, pick up.
If
Pick
he's
up.
in Times Square,
Pick
it's
up.
too loud to
Pick up.
answer.
You've
Um,
reached Emerson Collins. Please
oh,
leave your name, number,
really?
and a brief message.
You
and
have
I'll
to
get
leave him a
back to
great
you.
message.
Wait
for the beep.
Where's the beep? Where's the beep? Emerson. Emerson.
I never heard a beep.
He said call back. He said call back. He's texting me right now saying call back.
Okay.
So, okay.
We're
Here we go.
calling-
We're going
okay.
to call him back. You know what? I have to say something about Emerson while we're waiting for him. He does so much of this show. I mean, he is. He does the research. He does all of the stories. I suggest stories, but it's so hard when he's not here.
Hello.
Well, where were you? Were you in the bathroom or something?
No, I'm literally hiking the streets. We just bought tickets at TKTS to see the Great American Lesbian Musical, Fun Home.
Oh. We all go.
I feel like it's the most brilliant thing ever because it's going to heal the rifts between gay men and lesbians. Because how to get gay men to like lesbians? Write a musical about
A
'em.
musical.
We've got a
That's
couple
kinda
of lesbian
brilliant.
stories coming up. Yes, the next story is about a lesbian.
We sure do.
Emerson, what are you doing there? All this secrecy. Can you tell us anything? Any hints?
Well, I can say that I'm here at the request of Bravo, and we've had a wonderful time meeting some Bravo celebrities. We met Tamara from the Real Housewives of Orange County. We met
Ooh.
two of the cast of Odd Mom Out. Two of the actors, they were actually genuinely fantastic. And then rumor has it tomorrow we get to meet one of the Real Housewives of New York, and I'm so excited I could piddle myself.
Oh, well, that's so okay. So we kind of get a hint
I
here.
don't have anything
No
official
news.
to announce.
You cannot announce anything. Okay. Well,
I don't. As soon as I have official news, I will share it.
all right. Well, we are missing you,
We
but
are.
these boys are
Yes.
doing a great job. We ran through the whole. We almost had 3 orgasms talking about American Horror Story
Yeah.
because we're so excited
Yes.
about Hotel, and we knew you would be too.
I know. It doesn't even have to be good. It's just going to be masturbation fodder.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So
Craig Taggart and Chris Pudlo, I love you more than any luggage I've ever owned.
I love you.
Intelligent, hilarious, and talented people I know. And if you haven't shared your big news yet, when you share, I'm so excited, and I will definitely be there.
we
Awesome.
we got
shared
that.
it.
We couldn't hold it. We did it right at the top of the
Okay,
show.
good.
And maybe she's listening. Maybe she'll call in.
Is she?
Stupid excited.
She knows you worked with her before.
I did work with her on Dharma and Greg. I
Yeah.
absolutely did. So, all right. Well, Emerson, thank
All right.
you. And you'll be back next week, and I'm not going to be here, and you're going to have the gay view for us. So,
I will.
I'll see you soon. Okay. Thank you.
Love
Y'all
you,
have a
baby.
great show. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Mr. Pudlo, you've got a story for us about.
I don't have a story.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's Craig.
Oh, I'll tell this one.
Yeah, tell it. This is our first lesbian story.
Yes, well, they're apparently writing a lesbian musical. Lesbians are international now. We're going to talk about some in the Netherlands because a lesbian couple and a gay throuple in the Netherlands are having a baby they plan to co-parent. Now, the lesbians and the original gay couple have been friends for 10 years. The couples are married, and the gay couple includes a third who has been their partner for the last 3 years. Quote, 5 parents with equal rights and responsibilities divided across 2 households. Those are the terms of the agreement that are all signed and had notarized. Each household has 1 legal parent. Now, they conceived the child like this. The women were, quote, getting it on in one room, and we were in the other. At some point, someone yelled, "Yes, we're ready." And then we walked into the room with a jar of semen. We've read somewhere that because of the mucus and contraction of the cervix, sperm enters a woman more easily if she has an orgasm during the insemination. We actually use these basters that we've been given on our wedding day, but those turned out to be way too big. Now, clearly the lesbians thought so. I don't know any gay man that would say that. There was a lot of air in them, and the semen ended up in all sorts of places that it shouldn't have. The baby is due this week.
Oh my God, this is a crazy story.
Yeah, like when you're a kid and it's like, oh, how did your parents meet? And like, well
it
there
was
was
very-
semen
Which
everywhere.
one? Which one?
Yeah.
Which one? You got your choice
At
of
parent-teacher
5.
conferences, do you bring all 5 in? Like,
Do y'all have any friends who are in a throuple relationship? It's like a big new thing. I
I
have a
know-
lot of fans who are in those relationships. No
Not-
judgment at all.
not relationships, but I know people where there's a couple and they always have like a third. I know like 3 people, like 3 couples like that.
I've heard of it. I don't
Truples.
know of anybody who's the
Yeah.
throuple.
Well, I have a few. It usually starts with a couple who brings in a younger guy, quite frankly, into the
Yeah.
relationship. That's what my experience is. But okay, well, baby has 5 people to love him. So I guess we look at that positive and we go, yes,
power to him.
in the
Yeah.
nether.
I'm still focused on that jar.
Now,
Was it all 3 of the guys' sperm in there, or
I don't know.
and does that
Or did
work
they
that
just
way?
grab it off of their chest? I mean, I have so many questions that are not answered in this story.
Yeah, and then when they come in there and do the black light thing,
It's
the
like
whole room's
Jackson
gonna light
Pollock
up.
all over the wall.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. Okay, well, we have other lesbian news. This is not such a great story. I hate this story. The lesbian couple torched their own home in a hate crime hoax. We're seeing we had a story a couple of weeks ago where a young gay guy did a hoax exactly, and had a GoFundMe and all kinds of things. This is in 2010. I remember this story very well. The home of Carol Ann Stute and Laura Jean Stute. They blamed their neighbor, accused him of repeatedly threatening them and had threatened to burn down their house. And according to the lawsuit against the neighbor, he said, "Do you know what is better than 1 dead queer? 2 dead queers." That's what... Turns out they wrote this according to the judgment, and the neighbor passed a polygraph by the insurance company and then sued the Stutz for the burning. The insurance company sued, and they have been accused of spray painting queers on their own home and the jury ruled in favor of the insurance company. What's interesting is I think that this was a civil case, so there's no criminal charges, if I'm not mistaken. But it just... This is not making the gays look good.
No, they're riding the coattails of what people are fighting for and then using that against ourselves and other people. It's bullshit.
Well, we had, and there was, not too long ago, there was a church, I think it was in Kentucky, where there were some gays wrote on a church, some graffiti. And we can't expect to, if the people are doing this to us, you should. This is just. But here's the deal, and I'm not finishing sentences. I'm often accused in my shows of not finishing sentences. So y'all just, audience people, just fill in those blanks because I don't. But we have to know that there are bad people within all communities.
Of course.
God, yes.
So we can't all just go, oh, we all have to be good. There are going to be some bad homosexuals.
Well, first off, why do they each have the 3-name thing? They sound like the Shining twins or something really creepy, like Carol Ann Stutt and Lord Gene Stutt. They already sound like mass murderers right there.
And they're not. It doesn't look like the 2 last names. So anyway, all right, Chris, to your state in Michigan, what's happening?
I'm from the Detroit, and a politician tries to avoid a scandal by claiming he's a porn-addicted sexual deviant. So back in May, many of Michigan's Republicans found a bizarre email in their inbox that said, "Breaking scandal. State Rep Todd Courser secretly removed from caucus several weeks ago due to male-on-male paid-for sex behind a prominent Lansing nightclub." The email had all the markings of a cheap attack on a socially conservative politician. Among other things, it called Courser a godless addicted monster and a bisexual porn-addicted sex deviant. Well, it turns out that the email was Courser's idea all along. The married father of 4 orchestrated the release of the email in an attempt to cover up an extramarital affair with fellow Republican lawmaker, State Rep Cindy Gamrat, which I would do too if I was fucking someone with that name.
It's not a good name.
No, and I know
I'm
Gamrat.
sorry if anybody's named Gamrat out there. I'm so sorry.
I know
just
a
said that.
Roseanne Gamrat from Detroit. Is she?
Are you listening, Roseanne Gamrat? Roseanne Gamrat. Can you imagine? Like I just go to telephone calls. Roseanne Gamrat speaking. Yes, this is Roseanne Gamrat. Uh-huh.
Yes, hold please. Well,
I'd like to talk to Roseanne Gamrat. Go ahead. I'm
well,
sorry.
he received a text message saying someone knew about their affair, so he planned this extreme email to come out before the information was released to inoculate the herd and create a controlled burn. The idea, Courser explained to his aide in a newly released recordings, was to release an attack on himself so vicious and unbelievable that it would taint the credibility of any eventual leak of the affair with Gamrat, which pisses me off because basically he's saying a gay scandal or a gay affair is so horrible that it's so much more worse than an extramarital affair with someone he has a family with, and he's,
Yes, but it wasn't just an affair with a gay man. It was like a godless, addicted monster with bisexual porn and all kinds of
deviant.
Probably putting things up his ass in public. I don't know,
like a jar full of sperm.
But it's a weird. Isn't it a weird thing to go? Okay, you know what? I did this one thing, and I'm just going to create this horrible, horrible accusation via email to throw people off when the truth comes out. It's a very odd defense.
I think people on this planet don't get it. Just own up to your shit, because if you try to hide it, you just make it worse. You think in your stupid brain that you're going to fix it by doing all this other crap. Everybody gets caught. Everybody gets caught.
Yes, absolutely.
Always. If you're listening, you're going to get caught.
Except for Joni McDonald, who my friend who was on my friend Joni McDonald, when I was growing up in Zapata, Joni, if you're listening.
Hey, Joni.
She went on Weight Watchers, and she was real bitter about it. And so when we would go into the grocery store, she would go and to the sweets department, and she would squish all the Twinkies and all the Hostess.
Because she couldn't have them.
And
Nobody
she
else
never
could.
got caught. So she got away with it, Chris. Your theory's not always
no.
right.
Karmatically, someone's going to squish her children's.
Stop! Stop! We can't. Well, she did have some unfortunate things happen in her life,
But
and
you'd
I won't
rather
go
not-
into. I would not. I don't need to discuss those. All right, back to the game. We're getting off track. See, if Emerson was here, if Emerson were here, subjunctive, he would not allow me to go off tangent like this.
Well, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Okay, so Craig, what do we have in India? In India,
Curry?
Sand.
Curry?
Well, a Delhi court has sentenced a man to 7 years imprisonment for unintentionally killing his same-sex partner in the heat of passion.
Ooh.
The court noted that on the night of the incident, after the victim refused to, quote, switch roles in their sexual act, the enraged man, in the heat of passion, hit his friend with a stone, which led to his death. The only concession for the convict was the dropping of the murder charge against him, which would have either entailed death or a life sentence. He was found guilty of culpable homicide, not amounting to murder, saying he and the victim were good friends and used to indulge in sex, and there was no intention or motive to kill his friend.
But he did pick up a rock
Yeah.
and bash him in the head.
How is that unintentional?
That's
intentional.
That's a lot. I mean, just because it's like, okay, I'm tired of getting fucked. I want to fuck you. That's basically what
Yeah.
this story is, correct?
That's what I
Yeah.
call hitting rock bottom.
You know, I just want to say that John, our
Crash.
it is. By the way, John Williams, who is our engineer, normally is not here today, and we have Kurt filling in. So thank you, Kurt.
Hey,
and I'm so
Kurt.
sorry that you're just having to listen to this complete and utter trash. he's just complete red face over here, not knowing what's
Listening
like.
to all this
Okay,
stuff.
we're gonna go away from all the deviant stories, and we have a really wonderful. Emerson coined this title of our next section called Trendsettera, and for the first time, and I think you know that Caitlyn Jenner has had so much to do with this. There has been a lot of exposure,
Yeah.
and I mean that in a good way, to trans rights. HRC has made some strides towards really working towards trans rights, and we've seen a lot of unfairness and in that community, and we have seen the struggle. So I talked to y'all earlier. Y'all have not seen I Am Kate yet, but I
Correct.
really am loving it. And what's really great about it, guys, is that she was so closeted in her existence and so private about this big secret, and of course being a celebrity and now being so open and having this reality show, she is learning along with a lot of the audience. There's a lot of what's politically right and she is really being educated herself. I mean, to the degree that they went up to San Francisco, they did this road trip, and they were going to go to HRC headquarters there, and she didn't even know what HRC was. She's been so far outside of our community, but is immersing herself into the community and really wants to make a difference. And I have to applaud her, and all of the producers of the show. It is really, really enlightening and quite wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Good.
in other trans news this week, though, I love this story because I cannot stand Mike Huckabee. He is like just an idiot. Because I'm using my big words. He's just a doo-doo head idiot. Former U.S. Navy SEAL just handed Mike Huckabee his ass because Mike Huckabee had made some horrible statements in the debate that you missed, Chris. But Kristen Beck served for 2 decades in the U.S. military before transitioning to female, and she has a message for former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. He's also a Southern Baptist minister, as you know. I was the best of the best. I am twice the man you could ever be. The former Christopher Beck tweeted to Huckabee, who does not believe transgender people should be able to serve. And Huckabee said in the August 6th debate, the military is not a social experiment. He also said the purpose of the military is to kill people and break things. Big.
Yeah,
and break
that
things.
really
And
elevates the
break
morale
things.
of our.
Yeah.
It's not to transform the culture by trying out some ideas that some people think would make us a different country and more diverse. The purpose is to protect America. I'm not sure how paying for transgender surgery for soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines makes our country safer. Missing the
Who's
point.
paying for
Missing the
surgeries?
point. Okay, last month, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter announced a working group has been created to examine the policy and readiness implications of welcoming transgender persons to serve openly. That's his response to Ash Carter making this statement. Back to Kristen Beck, served in special operations and received the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart, and is now running for a congressional seat from Maryland. And I hope she wins.
Good.
I do too.
And she said, right now, Huckabee's being derogatory and disrespectful to a huge part of our nation. So here, Kristen Beck, you're our hero.
Way to go.
Love that you went after him publicly.
And Mike Huckabee, just in case you're listening, just want to correct you.
He loves
He says the military is not a social experiment, when in fact the military is. It was desegregated before public schools were. So it's ahead of the curve in a lot of these sort of situations. And for somebody just to speak to well, it's not a social experiment, insofar as he's doing the same thing with, gays in the military.
He just wants to break things.
Well, but the thing with Mike Huckabee, he is so he's so out there with all of these statements. I don't know how. I'm really interested. I'm so much more interested in who's going to be the Republican candidate. I mean, who do you think, guys? I mean, who do y'all think?
It's gonna be fascinating because I'm gonna see. I know it's all about Trump right now, and
That's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna
I
happen.
don't
That
No,
is
because it's
gonna-
like
that's
the
gonna-
celebrity thing.
That's
Yeah.
gonna fizzle and burn. But I'll be very curious to see if the party just digs in their heels and goes with somebody of the Marco Rubio route, who is on record saying doesn't believe in abortion even when it endangers the life of the mother. If they're going to go uber conservative, or if they're going to try and go more of an inclusive route. I'm fascinated to watch how it's going to.
I am too.
How it's going to come out.
Sometimes I just look. I go, well, who's the most attractive?
Right.
Marco Rubio kind of is the most attractive, I think. Don't y'all?
Oh, you're not into Ted Cruz?
Oh my God! I can't stand that motherfucker. He's the worst one.
yes.
Here's the deal with Ted Cruz. I say this because I often say in my show, I prefer the low road. It's much more scenic.
Oh,
and Ted Cruz, why does he have those capillaries? I've said it a million times. Isn't anybody saying zap the capillaries off of your nose? It looks like he's a big drunk. They're
Well,
just so.
Politicians always look so weird, and I think that's why they're politicians. You got to look weird to be a politician.
And he has those hollow, untrusting eyes. Oh, he is absolutely the worst. Well, we have another section that I kind of love called Checking In with Crazy. And the title of this first story, Marriage Equality Means You Can Marry Your Lawnmower. Please keep in mind these people are in office that say these things.
Yeah.
Iowa Representative Steve King told the world that we can now march into our front yards wearing our Sunday best and marry the lawnmower. While introducing Republican President, you cannot read this without laughing.
No.
Presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, full circle to Mike Huckabee, King said, I had a strong Christian lawyer tell me yesterday that under this decision, meaning the Supreme Court decision, that he has read, what it brings about is this. It only requires one human being in this relationship that you could marry your lawnmower with this decision. I think he's right.
Yeah. He doesn't go to an animal. He goes to a piece of machinery.
And why a lawnmower?
Because
I mean, wonder why didn't.
Aren't we supposed to call them gardeners?
I mean, wouldn't you I'd rather marry a scooter. I'm
Well,
just
I
saying.
would. If it came to a choice
I'll go
between
for
a
a
garden
skateboard.
tool, yeah, if it came down to a garden tool or that tool that was in office as the governor of Arkansas, I would rather ride a lawnmower than Mike Huckabee.
What else? We have another one, and this is from Kentucky. Craig, do you have that story?
Yes, I do. This is what I like to call Kentucky Fried Chicken shit. Liberty Counsel President Matt Staver, the organization representing Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis, in her suit refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, appeared on VCY, America's Crosstalk program, last week and discussed his work urging government officials to defy the Supreme Court's ruling on marriage equality. We could create, quote, sanctuary cities, free from gay marriage and abortion rights, just as some cities have become sanctuary cities for undocumented immigrants. You know what? If some cities can create sanctuary cities for illegal aliens, why can't a city or a state create sanctuary city or state to protect the preborn? He asked. And to protect marriage, VCY's Jim Schneider chimed in. And to protect marriage, absolutely.
I am totally stealing that term for this a very sordid wedding. The winners is the pastor who's being played by Levi Christ is he's gonna try to create a sanctuary city just to keep them out.
Yeah.
Keep them out. I don't mind if they create a few. Just to
see what happens.
But let's give them really shitty cities, like really, I can't say, we cannot say what we're thinking in our head because Leslie Jordan got in such trouble in the press when we were filming in Shreveport, and they said, how was it filming? He said, well, it's just a cesspool of a city. You cannot say that. Somebody lives there. I love Shreveport, by the way. So, and we have one more checking in with Crazy. This is, again, my home state, Texas.
Yep. A congressman wants gays banished to a deserted island.
I'm there. I am so there.
Yeah. Hey, it sounds like paradise. While speaking last week, Rep. Louis Gohmert of Texas proposed a plan to prove once and for all that God intended marriage to be between one man and one woman by conducting a science experiment. We could take 4 heterosexual couples married and put them on an island where they have everything they need to sustain life, then take 4 all-male couples and put them on an island with all they need to sustain life, take 4 couples of women married and put them on an island, and let's come back in 100 to 200 years and see which one nature says is the preferred marriage.
Whoa. Well, there's a little bit of hole in this. How are they going to come back after 100 or 200 years?
Yes.
How are they going to come back and check this out?
Yeah. He's gonna live a long time.
Just okay. Well, that's all the crazy that we have for you. Let's talk about you boys.
Okay.
Yeah, we got through. Hey, we did it. We got through all the news. I was worried that we had too much, and I wasn't going to have enough time with y'all, but I may have too much. So first of all, thank you for doing this with me. It's been so much fun. You're welcome anytime. I know. You may be my go-to guys now.
Well,
it's
good.
just easy. I love your show. I've seen the Bette and Juliet show, I think 3 or 4 times now, and every single time it makes me laugh. You have such a great ensemble cast as well as the two of you.
We really do.
But how did it come about? I mean, how did you conceive it?
It actually kind of evolved out of another show that he and I had done called Hollywoulda, Coulda, Shoulda, which the premise of that was it was all impression based, where we would take scenes from movies and we would redo them, but we would recast them in redoing them. So it would be like,
and I saw that one as
Silence
well,
of the Lambs with Megan Mullally and Jack Nicholson. Well, we found in running that, like, our 2 most solid impressions,
Female.
between the two of us, female-wise, were Juliette Lewis and Bette Midler. So it just always was floating in my head of like, well, what kind of show could those two have outside of the Hollywoulda premise? And it just kind of landed on me of like, well, what if there was like this 5th hour of the Today Show, like after Hoda and Kathy Lee got too drunk to carry on. And I'm like, what if Bette and Juliet had their own little morning show, like an hour show? And it was the first time ever creatively for me that I thought, my God, the ideas are endless. Like, we could just go forever with this because there's all these different segments that you could do.
And there's such an odd pairing because nobody would expect these 2 people
to
be friends.
But they've met. You have a picture of them in your show.
Because I wanted to make sure that this could actually happen because I was like, yeah, we do Bette, we do Juliet, and like if we do this, and I Googled them, and they met at a fashion show. They're sitting next to each other, and we first based our first show around that story. We wrote a really cheesy script that we kind of canned, that like we met at this fashion show and this, and then we kind of went like, no, but like it was based on truth somewhat that, you know, we met at a fashion show. So I don't know if they met before that. They probably met at the Oscars.
But the fictional Bette and Juliet don't like each other, which serves the.
We play on that a little, yeah.
I mean, you pretend, and then there's always a little bitchy quality, which serves the show very well.
Well, yeah, because we take the jabs at each other, and it's better that she's more alpha, you know, like she's like the queen there, and I'm just like, what? Like, you know, the Abbott and Costello thing going.
Right. So, what's been your favorite sketch?
Oh God. That's actually a really good question.
See, we didn't plan this question.
Well,
see, this is live, baby.
My favorite show overall was the Halloween show because it was so solid and we got the most compliments on that. And we did a lot of impressions and we did a psychic segment where our friend Nikita Scott played Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost.
Right.
And she basically brought back people from the dead. And so we had Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze come back and do the spoof from Saturday Night Live with the Chippendales dance. And then we basically then segued the Patrick Swayze back into the ghost thing. And then, like, you know, it was just really fun what we did with that show. And so I enjoyed that segment.
Well, you have a few people who do really good impersonations as well as the two of you.
Yeah, yeah.
And y'all play other characters sometimes.
Sometimes
right?
we do. Like the first episode, we like threw a lot into the mix, like where we were Bette and Juliet and other characters. And now we've kind of had Bette and Juliet primarily anchor the show, and the supporting ensemble cast do a lot of like original.
Because we got feedback that people were like, well, we want to see Bette and Juliet. It's their show. And like if we got lost, because actually in the first show, I played a designer. I forgot the name I created, but it was basically you. I just did Del Shore.
Okay, so that everybody knows how good Chris Pudlo can imitate me so well. Just do a little bit of me.
Okay, so hey guys, look, it's Del Shores. I'm on UBN Radio. Emerson's gone. Where's Emerson? We got Craig Taggart and Chris Pudlo who are, you know, I was going to invite someone else, but fuck him. He pissed me off. And Ann Walker, if you're listening, we got 10 minutes left, so just calm the fuck down, okay?
Oh, very nice. I got so many compliments on the birthday video that you did when you did.
That's right.
This is Bitsy May.
She's so big.
That was great.
It was perfect because I just had the video and I saw my dog Blue right there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's in my head. I'm like, it's Bitsy but bigger, and like she's so big.
So your show is sort of a map, but it's not really scripted, right?
Correct.
That gives it that you have an outline, kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah, we have meetings. We assign characters / segments to everybody, and then we hit the bullet points, and then we improv it. We rehearse it, but the actual performance is semi-improv through rehearsals.
And one of my favorite things about each show is that the top of the show kind of inspired by the Carol Burnett show, which was always one of my personal favorites.
Saturday nights.
Yeah. It's that we field questions from the audience. The audience writes down questions, and Bette and Juliet do not see or hear them prior to.
That's
so
fun.
we're hearing them for the first time.
All right. Well, let's do a couple. Let me think. I'm gonna ask. Can y'all go into the characters without the wig and the makeup?
Sure, yes.
Well, I'll try.
Okay. So there we got Juliet and Bette in the house with us. I actually put on Facebook today that Bette Midler and Juliet Lewis were co-hosting my show.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so Juliet.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of yours. Your film career has been so. It's just been a lot of wonderful, crazy, quirky characters.
Thank
and you've
you.
gotten an Academy Award nomination.
Yes.
Yeah, and just lots of great reviews.
Thank you.
Now, you hit television recently.
I did. I did 2 shows recently. One's coming back for a 2nd season.
And which one is that?
That's Secrets and Lies.
Okay, let's dwell on Secret and Lies just for a second. Let's talk about Secrets and Lies. It seems to me that a lot of water cooler talk and also some of the critics have not been as kind to you about your performance. And okay, I believe over the top performance, unnatural acting has been said a few times. How do you respond? How do you respond to that?
Well, I think that's just an opinion, and if someone wants to have an opinion, I just tell them to go straight to the Celebrity Center and read Dianetics, and they'll find their answers there.
All right. Juliet Lewis, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Juliet.
Thanks for stopping by. Okay, and the divine Miss M. Oh, my God. I have seen you in concert. I love
Wasn't
you.
I fabulous?
Oh, baby. I saw you at the Staples Center do Stay With Me. And I just, do you remember what you said when you introduced the song?
Oh, well, let's see. I would save that song for the very end, because it just takes so much out of me.
Yes.
I sang it for y'all in L.A., but I didn't do it in Orange County.
You said, you actually said the night that I saw you, you said, I don't always do this song because it's just so fucking hard.
Fucking hard.
And you slayed it. It was so good. But all the performances and how many Academy Award nominations have you
I've
had?
got 2.
2, yeah.
Juliet
She
just has
lost.
one.
She
Yeah.
lost both, though. At least I only lost once.
Yes. So, The Rose was your first Academy Award nomination. The second was you played that
For
a
the
woman
Boys.
for the boys. Yes, that age.
She was only old for a part of it, you know.
Yes. So, what is your favorite performance ever?
Well, God, I have so many. You know, I've been working for forever. But probably the one that my most personal favorite, truth be told, is The Rose. It was my first. It was my first big picture, and like you said, got nominated. Did you want me to sing?
Could you
from it?
just sing a little bit of The Rose?
Of The Rose?
Is that possible?
Well, I'll take requests, of
Okay.
course.
With no music? Okay.
No music? Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, Bette Midler.
some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor
Keep singing.
that leaves
Okay.
your soul to
BetteandJuliet.com is where you can get your tickets for y'all's show. Your next show is when?
August 25th at 8 p.m. in Silver Lake.
8 p.m. That's our show, everybody. I'm going to go to North Carolina tomorrow. Miss Ann Walker and I are going to be at Charlotte Pride on August 14th and 15th. I will then be in Winston-Salem at Theater Alliance on August 16th. Asheville at O'Henry's. Keep singing. On August the 20th, I am going to be with all my bear buddies at Timberfell Lodge for Trailer Trash Sorted Lives Weekend. The 21st through the 23rd, and then ending my little North Carolina, Tennessee tour in Chapel Hill on the 23rd, and that will be televised, that one, and there'll be word on my Facebook page about how you can watch me live from Chapel Hill. Thank you, everybody. Emerson Collins will be back next week. I will be out of town, and he will have the gay view. Boys, thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
being my
Thank God for
co-host.
you. Wind beneath my wings.
Yes.
Echo.
There we go. And next up, we have Tony Sweet, and then we have who's next? They throw me off. Jasper Cole, and then we have the audacious, the fabulous Miss Ann Walker. We love you. That's the Dell and Emerson Show. See you next week.